Greetings faculty and welcome to another WIS Technology tutorial. In today's lesson I'm going to be talking about add-ons for Google Forms. Now until very recently add-ons were not available to Google Forms, and I think there's some really interesting things that you can be doing with Google Forms with these extended capabilities. Let me tell you a little bit about this particular activity. So here I've asked students to select a character from Hamlet and then to list 5 adjectives that would describe that character. Now, what happens after this, the minute the student clicks submit, all of these adjectives will be neatly organized into tables on the corresponding Google document. So what this leads to is a big document full of adjectives from varying opinions in the class of these characters. And then this could be projected in front of the class and talked about. You know, what are some of the similarities and descriptors we've used? What are some differences? So this is a good way to get a conversation started about characters in literature. Before we go ahead and walk through this, I want to show you some other parts of my screen here. So this is a look at my Google Drive folder. Notice that I have a top-level folder called Exploration of Character. Inside of this folder, I have my actual Google form, which again is asking 2 questions. Question 1 is simply to pick a character. Question 2 is to list the 5 adjectives you would use to describe that character. And then the other 4 documents are actual documents I created where all of the form responses will land. So for example, if a student is deciding to describe Hamlet, all of that content will end up on this document right now, which is empty. Here's a quick look at the form. Nothing special. It looks like a regular form, but you'll notice this is the area to get add-ons. If you don't have the DocAppender, this is where you would go to get it, but this is how we make this happen. And then of course this is where all of the results, and this was from a previous post. Let me just delete this one right now as I was testing it before. So let's go ahead and run through this. I'm going to decide to describe Hamlet, and let's say my adjectives are witty, clever, crazy, vengeful, and emotional, we'll say. And again, I'm just trying to compile what I think of Hamlet, and my fellow classmates would also be doing this, and we would have a large document with all these wonderful descriptors to have a very productive conversation about our understanding of their role in that play. So let's go ahead and click submit, and what I hope happens is that all these adjectives end up in a table in the Hamlet document. The other nice thing about doing it this way is as the students are working, they can't see the other adjectives that their peers are using. So it's kind of an individual yet collaborative activity because everything will be compiled into one document. So let's hit submit. Now let's jump on over to Hamlet, and we're just going to wait. Okay, so here we go. We have Hamlet as the character listed, and these are the adjectives that were listed. So now, the more submissions come in, this table will grow dynamically as the submissions come in. And I could do this for another character as well to do the same, but I'm not going to do that. Now I'm going to take you into setting this up. So after you've created your form with some good instructions for the students, you can create your questions. Now you go on to the DocAppender portion. So when you open an add-on, a sidebar generally opens on the right-hand side. And step 1 is simply to choose your target doc folder. And this was that top-level folder that I talked about, Exploration of Character. This is where all of those blank template documents live. The blank Hamlet document, the blank Ophelia, the blank Polonius, and the blank Claudius document. These all live there. So that's why I selected that folder, and I clicked next. Then I had to have at least one multiple choice question in my form to basically tell it where to append the information from the form. Meaning, my question 1 was already multiple choice. So I'm basically using this question to dictate where the information from this entire form should go. Okay? So you'll see it here. And of course, this is my question. Choose one of the following characters, and that corresponds to this question. So that's why I did that. And I clicked save and populate. And then I clicked next. And now I can choose the data from the spreadsheet that I want to include in the table. So I'm going to leave out the username and the timestamp because that's not useful information for me to present. The username might be useful for me on the back end in my spreadsheet if I want to know what particular student said what. But maybe I don't want that information to be public. So I'm just going to leave that unchecked. And then my format is just simply rows in a single horizontal table. You can also do bulleted lists or separate vertical tables. It's however you wish to visualize this document. I particularly like, in this scenario, the rows in a single horizontal table. And then I simply just click Save Changes, and it gives you a reminder here saying that DocAppender will run on your account when form submissions arrive. So this basically means now you're good to go. Anytime a student submits one of these questions, it'll automatically populate the blank templates that we had created earlier. So that's it. I hope this idea of Google Forms and DocAppender has sort of piqued your interest, and perhaps you can think of other ways to apply this similar sort of idea in your context, in your school, in your environment, your community, so on and so forth. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and look forward to hearing about what you may be doing with add-ons in Google Forms. Bye.